Here.
Bono,
Here.
Cunningham,
Here.
Stokes,
Here.
Stepanski,
Here.
Becker,
Here.
Kavanaugh,
Here.
Roberts,
Here.
Maglioka,
Here.
Ostrander,
Here.
1,466 votes present. Bono,
Here.
Oh, okay. Hey.
I get him.
I
You're good.
Well, first of all, my hair done, so I got a good appointment.
I mute everybody real quick because there's a lot of background noise.
Cindy, I'm here. I apologize if I missed the,
I gotcha.
thank you.
All right.
And
Yeah,
one not muted.
Everybody, yeah, that's okay. I just, there was somebody had background.
Okay,
noise.
approval of minutes from a previous meeting. Motion.
Motion.
By Mr. Moses, seconded by Pete Walrod. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, communications, reports of committees.
Communication, notice of a public hearing, Town of Verona, cell tower local law and campground local law. And a report, Madison County Office of Emergency Management Annual Report for the year 2020. Reports of committees, audit of vouchers payable today submitted by Finance Director in the amount of $1,254,896.96.
Okay. Mark, glad you're up.
All right, since we're on Zoom,
Mute your background noise because we can't hear here.
I'll mute everybody again.
Jeez.
All right, since we're on Zoom, I took the opportunity to record my State of the County with help from Samantha Field, PIO, and Christine Coe, my assistant. So I will be playing that in a second. I have to share it. Just give me a second. Thank you.
Why is Joe the only one on it?
Guess he'll be the only one. I don't know, because it's just minimized right now. Screen share. You won't see them. You'll just see the presentation once I get the share going. All right, I'm gonna do an audio check real quick. You guys hear this?
In the history of Madison County. Due to the once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, our county departments had to quickly adapt to provide critical services to our residents.
Be louder, Mark.
Louder.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Our staff are
Louder.
Oh, well, hold on. I gotta find out where the volume control is on this thing. Yeah. For on Zoom meeting. Oh yeah. Thank you, Sam. No, that's at 100.
Fine now.
I gotta go to the meeting controls here real quick. Just bear with
2020
me.
is like no other in the history of Madison County. Due to the once-in-a-lifetime pandemic,
Technical difficulties,
our
please
county
stand
departments
by.
had to quickly adapt to provide critical services.
They gotta be able to hear it. Oh, here we go.
You look good anyways, Mark.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't work because and it's gonna be as loud as it. Turn your computer volumes up on your computers. let me just go back to the thing. If you can't hear it, then it'll be on the Facebook page immediately following the meeting. That's not a good view.
2020 was a year like no other in the history of Madison County. Due to the once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, our county department had to quickly adapt to provide critical services to our residents while our campus was closed. Our staff rose to that challenge and was able to continue to provide the high-level services our residents are accustomed to while working mostly remotely. This departmental overview will highlight the great work our departments did during these unprecedented times. In the Board of Elections office, the Board of Elections faced obstacles of delayed elections, changes in voting laws, and a record general election. There was an increase in absentee ballot voting by 300%, which New York State was not equipped for. However, they were able to recruit and train over 200 new elections inspectors during a peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Elections processed about 34,000 voters for the general election, including 6,448 early voters and 6,175 absentee voters. That's a record-breaking 79% turnout countywide. In the county attorney's office, the Department of Law contributed to the county response of the COVID-19 pandemic by participating in the Joint Information Center and Multi-Agency Committee, and also as a resource and support to the Public Health Department in a multitude of issues faced and assistance in enforcing policies such as isolation and quarantine orders and violation of executive orders involving business violations. The department, along with purchasing, the corporate compliance officer, and the county administrator, established a contract policy and offered training to department heads and staff involved in the contact process. In the Emergency Management Department, the Emergency Management Training Center was open and operational throughout the pandemic for both incident response and training operations. They operated a PPE distribution center, which distributed approximately 580,000 pieces of personal protective equipment, which included N95s, surgical and cloth masks, gloves, face shields, goggles and gowns, and hand sanitizer. The Office of Emergency Management was critical in the county's COVID-19 pandemic response by partially activating the Emergency Operations Center for 31 weeks during the county state of emergency. They assisted with the response with planning and logistics support. They created and supported a continuity of operations plan for all departments here at the county and were integral in the reopening plans for both the county and the public sector. During the year, the 911 Communications Center received over 27,000 emergency calls, resulting in nearly 75,000 computer-aided dispatch CAD responses. In the Highway Department, the new Morrisville Highway Facility site work was done by Highway Department staff on time, allowing the contractors to begin building construction. Highway Department staff from both Morrisville and Wapsville shops stepped up to do a tremendous amount of work removing trees and moving earth. Based on the construction estimates, the amount of work done to date at the site have saved approximately $1.3 million by their great efforts. Despite being shut down for a month, COVID protocols and the uncertainty with state funding, including a 20% reduction in CHIPS revenue, the Highway Department completed 14.08 miles of cold in-place recycling, 17.56 miles of contracted paving, 57.34 miles of crack filling and chip sealing, 445 miles of road striping, replacement of 4 large culverts, and 39 cross culverts. In addition, nearly all the cross culverts have been mapped, and dozens were previously plugged or partially filled have been cleaned and jetted, particularly in the southern portion of the county. In the Information Technology Department, IT supported 2 workforces this past year, one on site and the other at home, to make sure all government functions could continue and the residents of Madison County could still receive the support they have grown to rely on. They worked quickly and efficiently when we shut down to make sure individuals could still work when we were not physically in the buildings. They continue to find new ways to make us more functional as a remote workforce. In the Mental Health Department, mental health of our community has always been important. But in the past year, that has never been more true. More and more people need mental health assistance. Our mental health department was able to shift their clinic to provide telehealth by phone and video to clients and operate almost entirely remotely when needed. Their clinical staff provided 2,206 video sessions during 2020 and had 726 new clients in start services. They also continue to provide in-person appointments as needed. Despite having multiple clinical staff vacancies during the year, the clinic increased the total number of visits by 3,500 from 2019 to 2020. Additionally, in 2020, the mental health clinic was certified by New York State Office of Mental Health to continue to provide telehealth services even once the current waiver is no longer in place. They are excited to be able to continue over the phone and video sessions to clients in addition to in-person appointments in 2021. In the personnel department, they began accepting online applications for civil service examinations. With county offices being closed for much of 2020, the launch of the employment portal was essential for the continuation of operations in the personnel department. In our planning department, the career staff volunteered to answer calls for the COVID hotline. This has been extremely challenging at times, and they've really stepped up and made a big commitment to assist our community in getting answers to many questions. The New York Main Street project saw several buildings revitalized in downtown Canastota. Multiple commercial spaces, apartments, and historic building facades have been restored with nearly $400,000 in total project investment in the core of the village. With a $1.5 million New York State Reimagine the Canals grant, Madison County acquired a long vacant 2.5 acre property along the Erie Canal in the village of Canastota to be revitalized into the state's first canal pocket neighborhood. In the probation department, they implemented a new computer system which allows probationers to report remotely. The system takes a photo of them, which it sends to us to verify their identity. It also transmits their location to us via GPS. This has been very useful during the shutdowns. Despite the pandemic, they collected more than $84,000 in restitution from offenders, which was returned to victims of their crimes. In the public health department, the COVID-19 pandemic became the one and only focus of the county health department. Since March of 2020, the department has worked daily to coordinate and implement our public health response efforts, committing both staff capacity and financial resources to address this pandemic. Over the course of the year, public health staff and a number of volunteers comprised of county and state employees, community members, and Medical Reserve Corps members have investigated 2,353 COVID positive cases and conducted contact tracing for over 10,000 individuals that were exposed and placed in quarantine. In partnership with the Madison County Emergency Management Office, SUNY Upstate, and Essentia Health, the Public Health Department coordinated 2012 COVID-19 PCR tests between May and December. The county also partnered with the State Department of Health Regional Office to conduct a targeted testing event for over 300 workers of the Green Empire Farms greenhouse in early May. This proactive effort led to identification of 87 asymptomatic positive cases, which were able to immediately place in isolation and quarantine to prevent further disease spread. The health department was one of the first counties in New York State to test wastewater from COVID-19 virus. The health department, in collaboration with SUNY Morrisville, the Village of Casanova, Syracuse University, Colgate University, and Quadrant Biosciences, established a wastewater testing initiative at our 3 college communities. The test results were used as an early warning system that activated our public health response, which involved targeted testing activities, isolation and quarantine of positive individuals, and enhanced education outreach efforts in those communities. Although the majority of 2020 was spent on efforts to contain the COVID-19 virus, the end of 2020 brought a glimmer of hope to our residents, as Madison County was one of the first counties in New York State to begin vaccinating eligible residents. We administered our first 100 doses of vaccine on New Year's Eve. In our Department of Social Services, applications for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, increased significantly due to a rise in unemployment related to the COVID-19 pandemic. DSS saw a 72% increase in applications in March 2020 compared to March of 2019. Overall, during 2020, there was a 10% increase in SNAP applications. There's a transaction increase of over 18,000. During the COVID-19 pandemic, households in receipt of SNAP not are receiving the maximum benefit for their household size have been issued emergency supplemental SNAP benefits on a monthly basis since March of 2020. The maximum benefit for a household of 4 in the year 2020 was $680 per month. SNAP value increased $3.1 million. Also in March 2020, a free mobile device application called New York Doc Submit became available for individuals to submit necessary documents for financial programs to DSS at any time. DSS installed a new mailbox outside of the public entrance doors, which allows county residents the option of dropping off information anytime, day or night, in a secure and confidential manner. Documents left at the drop box are picked up several times during the day, date stamped and distributed to appropriate staff. The drop box has been very well received by clients receiving services at social services. The BOCES New Vision Law Government and Public Administration program began in the fall and hopes to start its second year of programming with plans to expand and improve on the initial year. Students were eagerly welcomed and able to visit almost every department to learn about the inner workings of each through interaction with department heads and key department leaders. Students observed committee and board of supervisors meetings to gain a greater understanding of decision-making in county government. With the challenges being forced to meet virtually and internships being out of reach at this time, the instructor has worked diligently to make sure their experience was one of quality and engagement. Students hope to still be able to do some version of an internship before the end of the school year. In the solid waste department, 2020 marked 30 years of recycling in Madison County. Although the year of celebration did not go as planned, on July 24th, Senator May issued a proclamation honoring the county's long-term commitment. Early in the year, the solid waste department launched a new waste sorting game to teach students and residents how to properly manage different materials. Despite unstable and challenging recycling markets in recent years, Madison County has not wavered in its dedication to provide strong and stable recycling programs to county residents and businesses. In the Veteran Service Agency, they organized, planned, and executed the 2020 Year of the Veteran Recognition Program prior to and throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. At each Board of Supervisors meeting, a Veterans Agency was highlighted. They participated in and supported and hosted on-campus wave and Memorial Day Veterans ceremonies in honor of all veterans during the pandemic. The Veterans Agency seamlessly transitioned back and forth from an on-campus work environment to a remote work environment, all while maintaining the continuity of services to the veterans of Madison County throughout the entire COVID-19 pandemic, ensuring all client needs continue to be met with no interruption in services. This is evident that the agency successfully provided 2 veterans with emergency assistance in order to prevent them from becoming homeless. Agency staff participated in the COVID-19 response efforts to include volunteering for call center operations, greenhouse testing, and contact tracing. The staff also participated in monthly CIT meetings hosted by Madison County Mental Health Department. This resulted in directly assisting veterans in serious crisis and legal troubles to obtain necessary benefits from the VA. In capital projects and facilities, the HVAC system upgrade was completed in the county office building. Extensive building security and office renovations were completed within the Veterans Building for the mental health and district attorney's offices, as well as the public health building. DMV offices were renovated to expand the front counter area to provide more space for more employees to better serve the taxpayers. New electrical wiring and lighting was installed at the county office building complex around the flagpole and exterior walkway. Due to COVID-19, maintenance staff prepared and transitioned every building and office countywide with the installation of Lexan shields, furniture arrangement, partitions, and social distancing signs. All bathroom faucets, soap and towel holders were switched to touchless units. Hand sanitizing stations were installed throughout the county buildings and parks. The cleaning staff has gone above and beyond normal cleaning procedures on a daily basis to help prevent the spread of the virus and make it safe for our employees and taxpayers. Under the County Administrator's Office and the Public Information Office, over 237 press releases were sent out. Several press conferences were held with the Sheriff's Office, along with the weekly press conferences to provide COVID-19 updates during the first several months of the pandemic. Additionally, monthly videos with Chairman Becker were shared on social media and our website. Our Facebook likes increased from 8,027 to 9,679, and the follows increased from 8,004 to over 10,000. The Public Information Office created a Joint Information Center, JIC, for the first time in recorded history, pulling in support staff from other departments. The JIC worked together to keep the residents of Madison County informed about COVID-19, along with the tackling of the 2020 census. Other major stories handled by the PIO were that of the missing person turned into the homicide investigation, Medicaid Keep the Cap, the 2020 elections, and our virtual board meetings. And the NYSAC News Fall magazine published an article, How Do We Do?, submitted by our Public Information Officer. This article highlighted the Madison County's mid-action review of our COVID-19 response. In purchasing, 2020 requisitions dropped to 4,692 compared to 6,205 in 2019. During the COVID shutdown, purchasing converted 1,039 requisitions. With the help and push from all departments to use their P card more, we have increased our P card spending from 2.5 million to 2.7 million, which increased our rebate from 26,884 to 28,883. The fleet leasing vehicle with Enterprise is going very well. In 2020, they sold cars for us and brought in $124,000 for the county. That was $57,000 over projected market value. In finance, the AUD was filed on time during the pandemic with staff working mostly from home. They also accomplished the health insurance verification open enrollment on employee self-service this year, which has been a goal of the payroll department. They continue to work on being efficient with each county department. In the compliance office, in March 2020, the county hired a full-time compliance officer responsible for overseeing, ensuring, and promoting compliance requirements in areas including, but not limited to, HIPAA privacy and security, Medicaid corporate compliance, ADA, and other federal and state regulations. The compliance officer achieved an overhaul of the county's HIPAA compliance program, which included a redesignation of departments within the county's HIPAA hybrid, the development and implementation of 44 new policies and procedures, and updated training materials for staff. As for the corporate compliance program, a full review of the program's policies was conducted, annual training was provided, and an evaluation of the program's activities was completed. Additionally, the county celebrated its first Compliance and Ethics Week in an effort to promote awareness of the program and compliance culture. The establishment of this position demonstrates the county's continued commitment to its compliance responsibilities and obligations. I obviously spent a significant portion of the year dealing with COVID-related issues and working closely with health, emergency management, and public information to assist in coordinating response efforts. I took a lead role in assisting our county workforce transitioning back and forth, working from home and on campus seamlessly with emergency management and IT support, kept the county workforce regularly apprised of changes and updates, and held many weekly department head meetings virtually to ensure everyone had continued situational awareness. I kept the board of supervisors updated on the latest issues and case numbers throughout. On the non-COVID front, I led our team in applying for a $15 million USDA grant for broadband access for unserved and underserved populations in Madison County. Thanks to the efforts of our planning department, treasurer and finance, public information, IT, and our unbelievable partners at ECC Technologies, we were able to successfully complete our grant application during the middle of the pandemic in April. We're optimistic these efforts will result in an award this year, which would be one of the biggest accomplishments in the history of Madison County. Bringing broadband to underserved and unserved populations in Madison County and introducing a major competitor into the marketplace. On the fiscal side, I work with the budget officer and county departments to interpret a wide variety of state funding cuts and developing a budget that included no increase in departmental appropriations despite 20% in cuts from New York State. I worked closely with Chairman Becker on advocating with Leader Schumer and McConnell on providing funding to counties for COVID-related costs, and the Governor's Office of State Representatives for host community gaming revenue. We are also successful in working with our state representatives in NYSAC to keep the cap on Medicaid expenses, shielding our county taxpayers from millions of dollars in additional Medicaid expense going on the property tax rolls. Thank you to the Board of Supervisors for appointing me to a 4-year term in 2020. I look forward to continuing to work with you and our county staff to continue to have Madison County leading as one of the best counties in the state of New York. And last, a thank you. Thank you to our department heads, employees, and the Board of Supervisors for making Madison County one of the best counties in New York State to live, work, and play, even during this unprecedented year. It's been an honor to have you all by my side as we navigate through this storm. The unequivocal support from Chairman Becker and the Board of Supervisors have enabled us to provide our workforce with the tools needed to combat this deadly virus. Madison County has continued to lead the state in our planning response efforts throughout that because of this support. Thank you again.
Hopefully you all could hear at least some of that.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Very good job. We appreciate it. Okay, public hearing on the recertification of Ag District number 30. I need a motion for that to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Who made the motion?
Mary Kavanaugh.
Mary Kavanaugh is on.
Second.
Okay, Mary Kavanaugh made the motion, second by
Second.
Pete Walrod. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, is there anybody here to speak for or against the recertification of Ag District number 30? 30. We have, is it 3C? Okay.
3C.
3C. All right. I filled it in with my pencil. Sorry. Okay, seeing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move it.
Motion
Second.
by Matt Roberts, seconded by Mrs. Morelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
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 Any opposed? Carried. Okay, next we have the adopting the inclusion of agricultural district number 3C. So I need a motion for that, please.
I'll move it, John.
Motion by Mr. Jones, seconded by Mrs. Norelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, we can get on to regular business, correct?
Nope. We just opened the public hearing.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Is there anybody here to speak for or against it? Okay, seeing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move it. Second.
Motion by Mr. Roberts, seconded by Mr. Moses. Is there any discussion? All in favor of closing signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, resolutions for preferred agenda. The Government Operations Committee. Resolution 1, amending the investment policy and procedures. Number 2, revisiting the Madison County Management Compensation Plan. Number 3, authorize the chairman to enter a pilot agreement with VC1. Number 4, authorize attendance in out-of-state conference for the sheriff's office. Number 5, authorize the chairman to enter an agreement with the State University of New York for COVID vaccination pod sites. Number 6, acknowledging introduction of proposed local law number 1 for the year 2021 and calling for a public hearing on amending local law 10 of 2020. Number 7, reappointing members to the Ethics Board. Number 8, creating a full-time deputy director of information technology position and modifying the 2021 adopted budget. Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman, Government Operations Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Resolution's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Walrod. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, could I get an explanation on the figures on resolution 3?
Yes, Mr. Stepanski. What are the figures on that? Is Scott on?
Tina?
What would you like to know, Alex?
I couldn't follow the arithmetic.
Well, we get a
Oh, the breakdown.
portion, they're paying $3,500 per megawatt, but we only get a pro rata share of that. So I think we get like 26% of the 3,500.
I got that, 26%. I guess I couldn't figure out where the 200 and some dollars came from.
Well,
I think it's only a 4 megawatt
yeah,
project, isn't it, Tina?
it's a 250 kilowatt project.
Okay.
So that's why there's a difference in it, Alex.
So
So
that's only one-fourth of a megawatt, and then we only get 26% of that.
Correct.
Okay. I guess I got it now. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
It's a very small project.
Yep, I see that.
That question came up before, Alex, so you're not alone.
Okay.
So are we good?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Bono,
Muted, Ron. Yes.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Stokes. Stokes,
Aye.
Stepanski,
Yes.
Becker.
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander, Ostrander. There he
He's
is.
listening to something else. Go, Ostrander.
He might be frozen.
He's frozen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. I just,
Keep on going.
I apologize.
Corbin,
Yes.
Aye.
Dan,
He's gonna have to text his vote.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones, Dave Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
DeVeronica,
Muted, Rocky. You muted, Rocky.
He said
said
yes.
yes.
thumbs up, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Norelli,
Norelli.
Norelli,
On mute. A lot of us were muted during Mark's address.
Yvonne.
Can't hear anything.
Yvonne.
So aye.
There you go. Thank you.
we're back to Ostrander.
He's a no. 'Cause he's-
No.
You have to say no.
He's
I think he fell asleep in the administrator's state of the county.
Oh, you are ruthless.
Tim, did you end up hearing me?
yes.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, because all of a sudden it just muted everyone.
1,411 eyes.
Carried.
Okay, next we have Finance, Ways and Means. Number 9, authorizing an agreement with Fiscal Advisors and Marketing. Number 10, authorizing an agreement with Bonadeo and Company. Number 11, adopting a set of financial principles for Madison County Reserve Funds. Number 12, authorizing modification of the 2020 budget for disability insurance. And number 13, authorizing the modification of the 2020 budget for employees' health insurance. Yvonne Norelli, Chairwoman, Finance, Ways and Means.
Mr. Chairman, I move for these resolutions for adoption, please.
Resolution's been made. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Mary Kavanaugh. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Vaughn, I just have one question. I probably know this, but tell me why the solid waste reserves is not listed in that reserve funds.
Because that's a separate, so that already had one established.
That's what I
and is
thought, but I
maintained
wanted to check.
separately.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anybody else? Okay, roll call, please.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Stokes. Stokes. Where is he? There he is. Stokes,
Frozen.
Stepanski. Stepanski, he's muted.
You're muted.
Wave, Alex.
Couldn't get you. I I'd say yes. I couldn't get you. I had the, up there on the screen, I had looking at the resolutions and I couldn't get back.
Becker,
But yes,
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander, are you awake?
aye.
Oh,
Okay, TJ's back. Okay.
yeah, aye.
Okay. Corbin,
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
Steve Veronica,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Bono,
Yes.
1,466 ayes.
Carried.
Next, we have Administration Oversight Committee. Resolution 14 is authorizing the Madison County Board of Elections to contract for poll site usage. Number 15 is establishing central service rates for not-profit organizations within Madison County. And number 16 is pulled at this time because the contract's not quite done yet. Dave Jones, Chairman, Administration Oversight Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
I second them.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Stokes,
Aye.
Stepanski,
Yes,
Becker,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander,
aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
Steve Veronica,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Bono,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Aye.
1,466 ayes.
Carried.
Health and Human Services Committee. Resolution 17 is authorizing an agreement amendment with Oneida Healthcare Center. Number 18, authorizing to renew an agreement with Onondaga Cortland Madison Board of Cooperative Educational Services. Number 19, authorizing to renew an agreement with Sign Language Interpretation Services. Number 20, authorizing to enter agreement with Madison County Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse, Bridges. Number 21 through 26 are all renewal agreements, and 21 is Coordinated Care Services, 22 is Consumer Services of Madison County, 23 is Psychiatric Services, 24 is Madison Cortland ARC, 25 is Family Counseling Services of Cortland County, and 26 is Heritage Farms. Alex Stepanski, Chairman, Health and Human Services Committee.
Are there four more, Cindy?
Oh, wait a minute.
27 through 30.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't finish. I was trying to cut it short. 27, authorizing agreement
That'd
with
be
Liberty
nice.
Resources. 28, appointing members to the Madison County Youth Board. 29, authorizing agreement with New York State Office of Children and Family Services. And 30, authorizing the modification of the 2020 budget for preschool special education. Eric Stepanski, Chairman, Health and Human Services Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move the adoption of these resolutions.
Resolution's been made. Do I have a second?
Chairman, I second.
Mr. Goldstein, is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Stepanski,
Yes,
Becker,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander,
aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
Steve Veronica,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Bono,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Stowe,
Aye.
1,466 ayes.
Carried.
Next, we have our Planning Committee. Number 31, approving a memorandum of understanding with Savarino Companies. 32, appointing a member to Madison County Soil and Water Conservation District Board. 33, authorizing enter an agreement with Oswego County Soil and Water Conservation District. 34, authorizing the recertification of Ag District 3C in the towns of Sullivan, Lincoln, Lenox, and the city of Oneida. 35, adopting the inclusion of certain parcels of agricultural land certified ag districts. 36 is authorize the chairman to sign a service delivery memorandum of understanding with Workforce Development Board. Cliff Moses, Chairman, Planning.
Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Resolution's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second them.
Second by Mr. Cunningham. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Becker,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander.
Aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
Veronica.
Aye.
Morelli,
Aye.
Bono,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Stokes,
Aye.
Stefanski.
Yes.
1,466 ayes.
Carrie.
Next, we have Criminal Justice Public Safety Committee. Resolution 37, authorizing a memorandum of understanding with the Village of Manlius for the use of Emergency Management Training Center. 38, authorizing amendment to inmate telephone service agreement with Global Tel Link Corp. 39, authorize the chairman to apply for a grant, New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for Explosive Detection K-19 grant. Number 40, authorizing an agreement with New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services. 41, reappointing a supervisor to the jury board. 42, authorizing the modification of the 21 budget for inmate haircuts. And 43, authorizing modification for the 21 budget for traffic diversion program. Pete Walrod, Chairman, Criminal Justice Public Safety Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Resolution's been made. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Corbin. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander,
Aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
Veronica.
Aye.
Morelli,
Aye.
Bono,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Stokes,
Aye.
Stefanski,
Yes.
Becker.
Aye.
1,466 ayes. Okay, next we have Highway Buildings and Grounds. Number 44, we're going to pull out of the pack and put it toward the end and do that separately. We have someone here to go over the seeker forms with us.
Correct.
Okay. Number 45 is pulled because the contract isn't quite done yet.
Well, Taylor.
Number 46, authorizing to extend an agreement with All In Highway Services. 47, authorizing to enter an agreement with King and King Architects. 48, authorizing an agreement with New York Tech Supply Corp. And 49, authorizing the modification of an agreement with Lawn Medic Pest Arrest. Ron Bono, Chairman, Highway Buildings and Grounds.
Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Resolution's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stefanski. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Roberts,
Aye.
Maglioka,
Aye.
Ostrander,
Aye.
There you go. We got those again. He's good.
Corbin,
Yes.
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Moses,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Walrod,
Aye.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Goldstein,
Yes.
Veronica,
Aye.
Morelli,
Aye.
Bono,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Stokes,
Aye.
Stefanski,
Yes.
Becker,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
1,466 ayes.
Carried.
Okay, we have now the Solid Waste Committee. Resolution number 50, authorizing entering agreement with NLR for the collection and recycling of fluorescent bulbs and batteries. Number 51, authorizing the purchase of the 2021 930M wheel loader for solid waste. 52, authorizing an agreement with Country Peddler for selling solid waste punch cards. 53, entering new standard waste disposal agreements for 21 through 23. Number 54, authorizing enter standard alternative landfill cover material agreements. And 55, authorizing the modification of 21 budget for the landfill. Jim Goldstein, Chairman, Solid Waste Recycling Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Resolution's been made. Second.
Second it,
Who seconded it?
Van.
Dan. Second by Ms. Schwartz. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ostrander. Ostrander.
Thumbs up.
Aye.
Corbin.
Yes.
Aye.
Zupan. Zupan, did I hear you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Moses.
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Walrod.
Aye.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Goldstein.
Yes.
Veronica.
Aye.
Morelli.
Aye.
Bono.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Stokes.
Aye.
Stepanski.
Yes.
Becker.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Miglioka.
Aye.
1,466 ayes.
Bummers from Madison, right? Hold on. Name was what? Okay.
Do you want to do Taylor Botar now? Now we'll go to regular resolutions on the regular agenda. Resolution number 56, in respect to the death of Donna M. Brummer, Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman, Government Operations Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Resolution's made, seconded by Mr. Stepanski. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 57, in respect to the death of Richard W. Lamb, Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman, Government Operations Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Resolution's been made, seconded by Mr. Bono. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay. Okay. Huh?
Next, we will go to Resolution 44 that I pulled out of the deck earlier. And it's for Highway Buildings and Grounds. It's a resolution determining that the proposed Madison County Office Complex Sanitary Sewer System Project is a Type 1 action and will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. Ron Bono, Chairman, Highway Buildings and Grounds Committee.
I move this resolution for adoption.
Resolution's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
By Mrs. Norelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify.
Yes.
Yes, he's got to do it. So during this, so
discussion.
we'll just discuss it. So go ahead, Taylor, are you on?
All right, thanks for having me. Can you guys hear me?
There you go.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so just to recap as to what we're doing today, Previously the Board of Supervisors had passed a resolution establishing their intent to be lead agency for the environmental review for this sanitary sewer project. This would be to connect the county facilities there at the office complex to the sanitary sewer line that has been extended up as part of the greenhouse process or project. So this portion, this is parts 2 and 3 of the full environmental assessment form. Hopefully you guys have that information in front of you. That is a very detailed list of questions and our answers that we responded to them, as well as the supporting information. And going through that, we didn't see any red flags, from an environmental perspective, that would lead us to, positive declaration, a potential adverse environmental impact. So that's why we had the sample resolution, which I believe was just moved for a negative declaration, which is, this project would not have an adverse environmental impact. And outside of this resolution for the environmental review, this would pretty much conclude that portion of the project. I just wanted to touch on some next steps for this board, so that they know where we're going to go from here. The next step would be a bond resolution for the total project cost. And with that, we would need to establish a intermunicipal agreement with the city of Oneida, as that's where the sewage would be going. Once those two things are in place, we would be, grant eligible, and we'd be looking for potential funding opportunities that we hope would come up in this year. And then if and when they do, we would apply for those and hopefully put together a really good funding package for the county that would allow us to move forward with this project.
I have a question. Do you anticipate any problems given the problems the city of Oneida is having with the sewer plant right now?
I do not. From what I know about the issues at the treatment plant, it sounds like they're working through some of their specific treatment issues. Our initial conversations with the city engineer, which I know has recently changed, they had indicated that the capacity at the plant for this project had been accounted for in their recent upgrade project. So, I feel like we should be in a good position with that. And, certainly the intermunicipal agreement would kind of solidify that.
Okay.
And our attorney, Jim Hughes, has had conversations with the attorney from City of Oneida, and they don't foresee any issues with intermunicipal agreement. So,
okay.
What's their current MGD?
At Oneida offhand, I don't know, John.
What are they upgrading it to?
They got a big bond out there, don't they?
Yeah, 1 million gallons per day. How many millions of gallons per day are they moving their plant up to? What are they at now?
I think it's going to be triple. These guys can look, but I believe that it was almost 3x, and they're not only going to be able to take increased demand, but also the regular trucks the septic trucks also.
Did they get the green light, or did they get any information on the grant, on the loan money they were waiting on?
Conversation with Helen last night. They're still dotting some I's and crossing some T's, but it's basically, according to her, just going through some motions.
Okay.
There was a change in the engineer that obviously had to bring someone up to speed. I can't remember the name of the new engineer, but he comes with a lot of good background. Seems like a really good guy.
I think he used to work for B&L. He used to work for B&L, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Rowe, I believe.
Kip says 3.75 million. John.
It's almost 3x. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what their capacity is?
No, more than 3x. I'm sorry.
3.75 million gallons a day right now.
No, that's what they're anticipating, I think.
That's what they're going to go to?
Yes.
I think we better explore this thoroughly before we jump in there, because you can't just shut the tap off from here and expect to truck it all like we are the leachate. So
what are we doing now, John?
What's that?
What do we do now?
We have a septic system out behind the DSS building,
Okay, all right.
and it's a big one.
I'll bet. Yeah.
And the tanks are getting bad. They're concrete. They're starting to break down. So
Okay. No.
What is the timeline, if anyone knows, for the United City project?
$20 million project. They're working on trying to get funding right now.
Right, but once they got the funding, how long would it take to build it?
If you would like, I could get some details on that for you guys. Well, I could email you, give you the timing. It's a big project. I think it's one of many wastewater treatment facilities in the Northeast. They must have all been built at once back in the 70s.
Well, the DC changed their regulations, Matt. That's why all of them are out of compliance. Sylvan Beach is out of compliance, and Ida's out of compliance. I think one of them to the west of here was out of compliance. Jim, can you speak to that maybe?
Yeah, the Clean Water Act in 1972 built most of these plants, secondary treatment, and most of those plants are pushing 30 to 40 years old. So a lot of plants, and regulations for phosphorus has gotten much more difficult. So we're looking at improvements at almost all of the plants in Madison County. And we're talking years, probably 2 to 3 years for funding and construction completion.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. And I think completion is 2022.
That's what the text said. Yeah.
It must be the capacity. If it's 3 times, Matt, you must be going to go up to 9 million gallons a day.
Yeah, he said, I think Kip said 3.75 currently. Yeah.
That's currently correct.
Not sure of that. I didn't remember that number. That seems high to me.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Any other questions for Taylor? Okay, we've had a motion and a second. No other questions? All in favor signify by voting aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Carried. It's carried.
Okay, we have one more resolution, number 58, authorizing the Madison County Sheriff's Office to continue to fly the thin blue line. Excuse me. In support of our county law enforcement. Steve Walrod, Chairman, Criminal Justice, co-signed by Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman, Government Operations Committee.
Mr. Chairman, move this resolution for adoption.
Resolution's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Kavanaugh. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to table this resolution.
Okay, motion's been made to table. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Who seconded that?
I second.
Oh, okay. Seconded, and so it's tabled. Till next month. Yep. Okay, who do we have signed up for public comment period?
People that express interest in being on Zoom.
Okay, do we have any other resolutions or anything? You don't gotta pay any bills or anything like that?
No.
All right, so I'll let you run that. You got the controls.
Sure. Anybody who wants to speak?
You want me to time you? I can time and you can run the controls.
No, I'm good. Anybody want to speak before the board on any matters? If you do, please turn your video on. Martha Moore has raised her hand. You want to turn your video on, Martha, and you can go ahead. We got 3 minutes to speak once you get going.
It says my video cannot be turned on because the host has stopped it.
Here, let me find you.
We can hear her. I heard her.
Yeah, I'll just.
I can just,
Go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it now, Martha.
okay, there I am.
There you are.
Okay, thank you. I would like to talk to the resolution that was just tabled. And I'd like to present the current status of an ongoing public petition and newspaper poll. There has been an online petition about the thin blue line flag flying at the Madison County office building since January. The petition has been since January. The petition statement is, we citizens of Madison County request that the Board of Supervisors Immediately instruct the Madison County Sheriff to remove this symbol of division from the flagpole outside the Madison County Jail and Sheriff's Office, and that it be removed from any other building or meeting in the county. It has no place in or outside of any public building in Madison County. A spreadsheet with the petition results was sent to the board, along with many comments made by the signers. Currently, there are more signers than that original spreadsheet. There are currently, as of this morning, 358 signatures on the petition, with more people signing each day. The vast majority of signatories are from Madison County, from towns across Madison County. Also, the Oneida Daily Dispatch has a running poll, and the current status of that poll was 124 responses. 27 said yes, the flag should remain. 2 said yes, but they should change how it is displayed. And 71% said no, they should take it down. This data represents the fact that a large percentage of your constituents believe that flying the thin blue flag on county property is inappropriate. Taking down this flag at the county complex does not in any way signal that the board does not fully support our county law enforcement professionals. Your continued commitment is evident in your support for funding, training, and equipping the men and women who put their lives at risk daily for our collective safety. These dedicated people are pledged to serve all members of our community. Flags with divisive symbols send the wrong message. Please remove the flag.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak? I see there's a couple folks on. John Bailey. Go ahead, John. 3 minutes.
My name is John Bailey. I'm a member of HARC. I'd like to also speak on the flag. I and the majority of the citizens that have spoken out on this issue have the utmost respect for the police and specifically the law enforcement officers of Madison County. Respect for the police has never been the issue. With this issue, I believe we have been made aware of a bigger problem in Madison County, bigger than the flag. The problem at this moment reflects our country, our inability to calmly discuss our differences. I respect that the sheriff and the chairman believe they have somehow supported law enforcement through this symbol. What is not worthy of respect is the lack of willingness to listen and accept that others also may have a legitimate point of view. That this symbol may represent something seen by other groups of people as divisive and even hateful. If we learn anything from this issue, maybe it is that we could do a better job as citizens and elected officials to respect and listen to one another. If we cannot and will not respect both sides, how can we work together to make our community a better and safe place for all its residents? How we change this divide is up to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Who would like to speak next? I have 2 people's videos on, John Nichols and Brian Clark. Oh, I'll go with John because his hand's raised. Go ahead, John. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. As a citizen of Oneida, I'm represented by police from the Sheriff's Department, the troopers, and the United City Police, and I feel very well protected by our men in blue. Having worked with the American Legion program for many years at the Boys State program at Morrisville College, I know from working with the American Legion that there is a flag code in this country that is laid out in black and white, and it's part of our U.S. laws. And one of the things it states is that you should not alter the American flag. So my argument for removing the flag is that because it's flying in front of a public government building, it should not violate U.S. flag code. And we need to set, as members of the government, you need to set an example for others of that you're not only going to defend the Constitution, but you're going to support it. And by supporting that, not only does it mean supporting the blue lives, but it also means supporting people who might be offended. And it also means supporting the code as written. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Bryant Clark.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Bryant Clark. I am the Methodist minister at Park United Methodist Church in Hamilton. I had a short, I guess, speech ready for our debate. Disappointed that it was tabled. So I guess if that's the case, I'll just sort of remind us of some things we can think about until the next meeting. When it comes to the thin blue line flag, what is not at stake is whether or not police have a hard job. I think we can all agree on that. What is not at stake is whether or not we support our police officers. There are many ways to show your support. And I think what's most important with this debate in the context that we're in is that what's not at stake is whether or not blue lives matter. A lot of people don't realize that police are consistently, even despite the public conversation and the criticism that has come about recently, the third most trusted institution in the United States. It goes the United States military, small business owners, police officers. Police lives clearly matter. If a police officer gets killed in the line of duty, they have a parade which stretches for miles. You know, in contrast, if a Black person is killed, they get their rap sheet read on TV, right? And so I know that this is a very emotional conversation for us, and there's a lot at stake. And we feel like it's just one more battle that we're going to fight in this culture war that we're in. But I know what's not at stake is whether or not we respect these people. It's a conversation about a really important job and how it's done. I work a really important job. I like to think it's complicated. People have all kinds of opinions about it, and they should, because it's important, because I work with vulnerable people. And we've learned over the past few decades that when clergy abuse their power, or when they're not held accountable, or when they're not trained in the proper way, they can do a lot of damage. And so this is part of a bigger conversation that really, truthfully, has very little to do with this idea of Blue Lives Mattering. The flag, I think it's also important just to realize that it grew in prominence, and some people believe even was invented as a response to Black Lives Matter, which again, as some of the other folks that have already talked today mentioned, is a posture of defensiveness, unwillingness to have the conversation.
Hey, Brian, your time is up on the 3 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else that wants to speak on this issue?
I'm going to say something as a supervisor.
No, we got a member of the public, Matt. Let's go to the
One more public member, then I want to chat.
JB. Let me know your name so we just have for the record.
Oh, it's no, it's a JB. My name is John O'Neill. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, fairly new resident of Casanova, Madison County. And I appreciate that there's, our communities are growing in diversity. I see there's a fair amount of diversity with the board there, gender diversity and age diversity and probably economic diversity, not necessarily racial diversity, although I expect all of us would consider ourselves against racism. But as a retired privileged white male, I'm learning that anti-racism is a verb. And so it's important to speak up. And when the motion was tabled, I thought, well, I don't have to say anything. But then some other folks had the courage to say something, so I figured I would too. And that is just that, I wrote a letter, and there's no sense in repeating the whole letter that went in the paper and will be presented to the board also for consideration. But my point is that, there's respect isn't unilateral. We've got respect for other opinions, other races in this flag and law enforcement. And this flag has just come to represent something far beyond whatever the original intention was as of the trauma of January 6th. So it's a much more much higher profile statement when the board says, we disagree with you and we're going to fly it anyways. So that's one issue. And the other was just kind of how I sensed from the article, how the statement from the Hamilton County Coalition was responded to seemed a little disrespectful. And I don't think that's what we want to do. I think we want to stay open to the diversity of opinions in the counties. So I think that's all I had to say about it was, I'm not sure what happens with a resolution being tabled, other than you'll probably get a lot more opinions. I hope the flag does come down. And if there's any resolution that's offered next, I hope it's a resolution supporting both law enforcement and the diversity of opinions out in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else from the public that would like to speak? Okay, Supervisor Roberts wanted to say something.
I just have a quick statement that I put together, and I spent a lot of time reading the emails, letters from the public, spoken to probably over a dozen people that are constituents of mine in wards 1, 2, and 3 of Oneida. And it's not a one-sided issue. There's a lot of different opinions, in both ways. So while a lot of the people that are at this meeting are voicing one side of the discussion, many of the people that I've talked to don't share that assertion. So let me just read this, and I want you to listen to what I have to say, please. And then if you want to discuss anything, I mean, we can. But I want to read this, and this is something that I spent a lot of time researching this. Okay, and this is done without any emotion. I'm trying to put logic to it. So I, as a supervisor in Madison County, am seriously leaning toward keeping the blue line flag flying over the sheriff's office and jail. And I'll give you several reasons for my rationale. First, just so you know, it took me over an hour to find any information on the thin blue line flag that was not written as an editorial piece or from a politically charged position. It's very difficult today to find objective information on the internet. It's one way or the other. So you really have to spend a lot of time using critical thinking and basically triangulate to find what you think is, with common sense, is fact. Unfortunately, that's just a society we live in. When anyone can form an opinion, repeat it over and over and over again, and then it becomes a fact. So I want you guys to think about that. So from the perspective of what the thin blue line, which was not a flag, which was not done in retaliation for the Black Lives Matter, it has a lot of historical connotation. It's really representative of law enforcement personnel who on a daily basis are dedicated to preserving the life and property, even at the expense of giving their own life or lives of their brothers and sisters in blue by putting themselves in harm's way. These are people who are doing things that normal, and I can guarantee everybody that's on this Zoom meeting, everyday citizens would probably never do. They're very special individuals. Just like anything else in human history, there's citizens who do not represent us or the other 99+% of everyone, who act violently, maliciously, and selfishly to push radical agendas and ideas. These ideas can come from radical leftists and radical right-wing people, both groups that should not, nor would not in a civilized society, control the rest of us. Many times it's been asserted, and it's true, that radical actions sell advertising. So these individuals get in front of cameras much more frequently than normal people. Also, these people from both extremes have caused a lot of death and destruction. And we can all agree on that. From a probability perspective, these people are 2 to 3 standard deviations from normal, but they get on television all the time. Because they're in the limelight, we see their actions on a daily basis, and then opposing people group citizens with these individuals. And that's wrong. I feel that emotion surrounding the thin blue line falls into this category. So as an American citizen that loves the US of A, where people have the right for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, I refuse to allow an infinitesimal group and their actions control the lives of all of us, the many. Furthermore, let me give you some examples of some other flags and symbols that represent unique and heroic individuals. The thin red line flag is dedicated to firefighters. The thin green line, dedicated to the armed forces and military police. The thin yellow line, dedicated to security guards. The thin gold line, dedicated to emergency dispatchers, telecommunications officers. The thin silver line, dedicated to corrections officers and individuals in the mental health system. The thin purple line, dedicated to those who are injured or killed in the line of duty. The thin orange line, dedicated to search and rescue personnel. The thin white line, dedicated to EMTs, paramedics, and first responder medical technicians. And finally, the thin red on white line, which is dedicated to nurses. So I urge all citizens, rather than allow the actions of a few determine the lives of many, to ostracize the radical left and radical right and use common sense when living their lives. I'm not going to let the actions of a few crazy people determine how I live my life. And that's what I have to say. Thanks.
Okay, Matt, Cindy needs a copy of that.
I'm going to turn the meeting back over to the chairman because we're actually technically not in public comment period anymore.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything before we adjourn? Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Moses, second by Mr. Walrod. We're adjourned.